Hey guys, JK Samus here with another video. Today I wanted to talk about loyalty. I think there's one underrated character in Arcane that kind of really stands out to me. She doesn't get a lot of, she does get a lot of screen time, but I don't think she gets talked about enough. And that character is Savika. And that's the theme of today's video is loyalty and how Savika portrays that. And I think the first thing that we really have to ask ourselves is what are the characteristics of Savika, um, making her such an underrated character. And the first thing comes to mind, yeah, she's loyal, right? But what is she loyal to? Is she loyal to Silco per se, to the cause, to Zahn? And I think those questions will be answered as we go through this. One of the things that I noticed about Savika too is that she's absolutely ruthless, right? Uh, there's a moment in the series where she and Vi are fighting each other. This is the first fight, and she uses her mechanical hand and she pierces Vi's stomach. And right before that, she had mentioned, Jinx to sort of throw Vi off, and it allowed her to gain that sort of advantage and almost got the killing blow on Vi, if not for Caitlyn's intervention. So she's also willing to suffocate the other Chem Barons, from Soko's order, to sort of make this example. And she's also able to just kill Finn, just in cold blood. Even manipulates Finn in a certain way so that Finn is vulnerable, thinking that Savika is now in Finn's pocket, and just right then and there just slice like his jaw or his throat. Another thing that I find Savika portraying is she's very prideful. She accepts the challenge, Vi's challenge to this one-on-one. She totally could have had everybody in the bar rush Vi, and it could have been a lot more one-sided. But Savika has a sense of pride, a sense of honor, where she wants to, even though she's ruthless and she's willing to use these sort of tactics about using Jinx, her relationship with Jinx to her advantage. But she likes the idea of taking down Vi one-on-one. There's a personal pride in that. But what do we know about Savika's personal life? Not much, right? We know that there's possible daddy issues, right? There's a possibility that she does have something going on with her father, as she talks to Silco about, giving him advice about how his relationship with Jinx, saying that, hey, give her some space. Eventually, she'll come to you, right? And that's speaking on personal experience from Savika herself. We don't know the context necessarily, but we understand that there is some sort of rift between her and her father. One of the other things is that she goes to the prostitution house. As we know, that's the whole reason why Vi is able to get the information that he needs, or she needs, to find Savika. Is because she frequents there, and one of the employees there knows where she is. So at the very least, we know that Savika is into men, from what I can gather from the gender of that person's name. But I could be totally off. It could be a female. But we know that she's a patron of this house. Looking at her career, she's Silco's lieutenant, basically. She controls everything that Silco does on a military level. So anything that needs to be done gets done by Savika. She's an absolute soldier, and then she also has like this warrior about her. She's not just this person that can take orders, but she has that pride, like we talked about earlier. and how she wants this one-on-one duel with Vi, even if it's to the death. So what makes Savika so great, right? What makes her so underrated, and I feel like she's just not talked about quite enough. The fact that she ends up saving Silco's life, and that seems kind of you that sort of raises a flag, right? You tend to wonder about the people that grew up in the lanes, right? The Zonites, and it's a very cutthroat place. So sometimes you have to betray other people to get ahead. But she intentionally throws herself in front of the blast to save Silco, losing her arm. She could have easily died, right? And Silco could have easily just left her to die, but she believed that Silco was the right man to sort of get to this goal, get to this dream of the nation of Zon. And she's just not like this. She's not a loyal dog per se, right? Because a loyal dog just only obeys. She can think for herself. That was all like conscious. She wasn't brainwashed into serving Silco. It was her own choice. And if she was still like a loyal dog, she would just be with Vander, right? Why would she switch sides? So, and it's not because of the money or any other reason. It's the fact that she sees Silco as the person that can take her and the rest of the Zon-Knights to this promised land of becoming their own sovereign nation. So one of the things that one of the things that I think that makes Silco and Savika sort of on the same wavelength is that they are okay with the methods of getting to that dream, right? That ruthlessness comes into play, because sometimes you have to sacrifice people. Sometimes you have to play dirty. You have to rise to the top, and sometimes that's stepping over other people, because they're in a place where it's not fair. It's not. In order to survive, in order to do well, to excel, you have to be ready to do anything, right? Anything for power, as Silco says. But what also makes her underrated is that she's unexpectedly very intelligent. And I don't mean that like as in like, oh, like, like she just looks like a musclehead. When she manipulated Finn into this moment of vulnerability, I was like, yo, like that's pretty insane, right? Because like you don't really see Savika as this scheming type of person. That's all Silco, right? But Savika's literally like it's a very, for the most part, she's very straightforward. She's very cut and dry, right? If she has a problem, she'll let you know. But she saw that Finn was an absolute nuisance, and he just keeps coming back, right? After Silco basically suffocates all the other Canberrans, trying to remind them like, hey, look, you guys have to trust me, right? Like, you guys forgot where you guys came from. You guys are just want to be comfortable. I'm trying to get us to beyond this just staying into the lanes and just making this money and this scrap and just staying as this enterprise. No, I want this nation. And that's very important to distinguish, because she absolutely knows that Finn is gonna just keep coming back, so she has to put an end to this. Okay, the first time Finn didn't get didn't understand, it didn't sink into him after he was choking almost to death. So Savika really just had to put an end to her. And that mixture of prideful and ruthlessness, these are well executed mixtures for Savika to have. So it's weird where she's willing to use what she knows about Jinx and Vi, you know, try to get Vi to throw her off balance, right? And then almost like a dagger with her auto arms, right? Her mechanical arms, and stab her into the stomach. She thinks but that's to her, that's fair, right? Employing everything in your own arsenal, right? Whether if it's emotional manipulation, is fair. However, asking other members of Silco's army to sort of intervene, to fight Vi, to hunt her down, and to all surround her, that's not in her book. She doesn't want that. She wants an honorable fight, and something that could that she can take pride in, saying that I defeated you. It's not because of all these guys that were here that I could defeat you. Obviously, she ends up losing the fight, but you know, it was pretty epic. So Jinx. So her relationship with Jinx is like twofold, right? On a personal level, she doesn't think that Jinx. She doesn't really resonate with Jinx all that much. Yeah, maybe they have like this sort of same sort of like daddy issue, but that's pretty much it. But on a professional level, she just thinks Jinx is an absolute liability, right? And there's almost like this obstacle, there's almost this hindrance towards this this idea of getting to the goal of Zaun. Well, even with her personal feelings, right? She wants to accomplish this goal of having the nation of Zaun more than she hates Jinx, more than she wants to get the payback on Jinx, right? So that's like that rift, right, where she see what Jinx is to their plans to basically be a sovereign nation, but she's not seeking revenge. She's not seeking payback against Jinx, even though Savika and her have their differences. This idea of Zaun is more important than that, and I think that allows her to sort of still follow under Silco, still save his life on numerous occasions, and still play the lieutenant role to Silco's army. Well, anyway, that's kind of pretty much what I wanted to say about Savika. She's actually an amazing character. One of my like sort of like these underrated characters that I really enjoyed. She doesn't get a lot of I feel like there's not a lot of content on her necessarily, but that's just kind of like my 2 cents on her. I think she's actually pretty cool. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and let me know what you guys think is the most underrated character in the series Arcane. Alright, thanks guys. See ya.